Hi, welcome to Power to the Flower. I'm Kara and this is my Zone 9 gardening channel, and today we're going to be planting up 2 containers with vines that are going to cover this Power to the Flower shed. So this is my shed that holds all of my junk, and I try and hide everything inside of there. For those of you who have been following us for a while, you know that we've started phase 1 of our backyard remodel of maybe 20,000 phases, I don't know. But in finishing phase 1, we realized we are using this new space differently than we thought. So let me just show it to you quickly. So this whole section here used to be completely different, and this is where we used to do all of our DIY, all of our planting, sawing, messing about, painting, and now that we've finished this section, we really love it, and we found that it's very shady, and so it allows us to eat down here in the warm part of the summer as well as the cooler parts of the winter, so it's kind of working perfectly for that. But back in that far corner is where I used to have the Power to the Flower shed. And now that we're using this space differently, we don't want to put it back over there. So what have we done? My husband thought of this really great plan. We had to tear down the fence in this area, and then we had to build a new fence. Now we know we're going to have to tear up our driveway at some point, so you never want to do anything permanent that you're just going to have to tear down again. So we put the Power to the Flower shed here, and then we attached a gate to it, which keeps our dog inside of our backyard, which is really important because if you ever see my stories on Instagram, you've seen her run around like a crazy thing. She escapes all the time. So that means that from the inside of our house and where we sit around on the patio and on the deck, we see the Power to the Flower shed now in a new way. So what I want to do is add some flowers in this area as well as a beautiful vine that goes across. So the first thing that I want to point out is this situation here. This came from Home Depot. It's called steel wire remesh sheets, and it's 42 inches by 84 inches. It was like $10. I love that it was kind of rusted a little bit because it blends in with the sides of the Power to the Flower shed. And what we did is we took wire cutters and we just cut it to the length and width that would work for us. He's using fence staples, which look like curved nails, to secure it. And as you'll notice here on the side of the shed, we've used sort of a stepping pattern to make a little bit of interest for the vine to grow on. Okay, so with your container, you want to make sure that it does have a drain hole, which this one does. And I'm just going to set it right here on the side. I'm going to use potting soil, as I always do when I am using containers. And then I use Sure Start starter fertilizer, which I always use in these Folgers containers because they have like a nice handhold. So that's what that is. Let's talk about the plants. First, I have a Spectabillis. I've never had one of these plants, but I loved its kind of upright shape. It grows 18 inches wide by 18 inches tall. It's a full shade lover. It blooms with little pink heart-shaped flowers in spring and summer, and it is a perennial, so it will die back in the winter but come back next year. So here's our Scandens vine, Joan Lorraine, which should cover a chain link fence in one season. So it grows 8 to 10 feet high and wide, has 2-inch purple blooms in July through September, and it's supposed to be a part shade lover. So how much is part shade? We will test it to its limits in this container. Next, I have dead nettle or Lamium. This variety is called Orchid Frost. This is a perennial in zones 4 through 10, so that means it's hardy down to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. This compact perennial gets only 6 to 12 inches high and 1 to 2 feet wide, so it will spill out of the container with its gorgeous silvery variegated leaves. When it comes to this area, it is not going to get very much sun over here. In fact, it's only going to have some sun in the morning, filtered through these trees, and then also in the afternoon, late afternoon, it's going to come through here. So I'm going to move this over as far as I can, and I'm going to put the Scandens here on the corner. But first, I just want to make sure that I have enough room for these 2 big guys. I'm giving the Scandens a head start here, up my remesh. I have my Lamium and my Spectabillis. Now, I put everything kind of that way because I think the sun is going to pull these plants this direction, so that will work well to kind of fill up the whole area. All right, so now let me show you the other spot, which is the complete opposite of this shady spot. So now you see what's going on here. We have intense afternoon sun that hits this thing from 1 o'clock. It will probably be like 2 o'clock earlier as the summer season goes by until like 8 o'clock. So no morning sun, lots of intense heat. So we'll see how that works out for us. In this pot over here, I have 2 strawberries. This one has these adorable pink flowers. It's called Sweet Berry by Bonnie. And it has these adorable pink flowers that I'm loving. This one's already getting some berries. And this one is called Sequoia, also by Bonnie. And then I have a brand new Topiary Bougainvillea, which I've never tried before, so I thought this would be fun. Although it is already getting some sort of weird leaf situation, but we're gonna try it out right there. And then I'm gonna plant the other vine in this one right here. And then it can scammer up, the other Scandens, scammer up there and across. And then I will get a third one to go in this bucket, but I only have 2 today. So let's do that. So that brings us to the end of this little video. I hope this was helpful for you in terms of shady plants as well as super sunny plants that you might want to give a try to. I'm so excited to have these vines in place and see how they do. If you'd like to be updated on how these Scandens are doing, either in their super shady spot or in their super sunny spot, then be following me on Instagram or Facebook at Power to the Flower, at Power to the Flower WC. I often post things in my stories in terms of just like quick morning garden updates, so be checking there as well. Anyways, thanks so much for being here. I post videos on Tuesdays, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.